I was reading today, Tom Shillue, that Senator Schumer has asked to see Senator Mitch McConnell to talk about health care. So, I mean, there are some silver linings. There are some bubbles of hope out there, hope over history. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and it was great to see the president's address before the game. You know, there's something about baseball, the great American game, that makes me emotional. Just
oh, look at you.
Just seeing them kneel down last night, it was amazing.
Yeah. I know it's hard.
Tom, you're going to make me cry.
I know. but that's where we are right now. We're kind of stuck, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the shooting happened a block away from my office, and we know Congressman Scalise very well, so it's very personal for us. And knowing that those congressional members and their staff, there's fear. They're very concerned about their safety, and it's a very emotional time. And what's happened is in Washington, since the election, there's been this toxic environment, and it's driven a lot by the social media world. And then now that we've seen one of our own get hurt, whether it would have been a Democrat or Republican, tragically injured, I think that it's a reality check for all of us in Washington, where we both, Republicans and Democrats, have to take inventory and say, we need to lead and ensure that the political rhetoric is not in a hateful way, that we focus on policy differences and not about attacking an individual or a party.
You know, Melissa, I've been in California the last few days, and I saw so many people who feel the way you do, Tom. And we know that that is a very liberal-leaning society in that state. Not entirely, but certainly where I was in the Hollywood
area. Thank God
for
Orange and Kern County.
Well, I was in the Hollywood area, so it was. And people were brought to tears. Yeah. I mean, they felt so much the way that you were expressing right now. Yeah. And it's a moment, perhaps a tipping point.
It is, and I think that when you look in this moment, you look at the way that others are behaving, and even people that you think aren't responding the right way, you realize you can only control your own behavior. You can only control your own mouth.
That's a great point.
So if you just sit there and own it, and you decide for yourself that in this moment, I'm not going to add to the negativity, we can still argue about policy and politics and that sort of thing, and we know a lot of people who do that with dignity and respect, usually with a smile on your face. I mean, you can fight about things without attacking the other person.
Amen.
We've all seen that. And rather than saying, this one's doing it right, this one's not, why don't we all just take responsibility for ourselves? I will.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
I just want to talk brass tacks, though, about the politics of unity.
Yeah.
There's no identity in it for certain people who have re-election coming up. It gets complicated. Can they put that aside?
Yeah, it's as though, since the election, everyone has collectively been holding their breath, regardless of where they stand politically. And with the call for unity, people kind of exhaled for a moment. And I think that's why there was an emotional release with this game. Yeah. Because people really need that. And you don't realize how high-strung you are personally and how high-strung the nation is. We've never been more focused on politics. It's never been so all or nothing. And that has such an incredible impact on people. So if they can actually come together and craft better legislation and craft better policy to the benefit of the American people, that will be a wonderful thing. And then you will never remember the name of that shooter, but you could remember the moment in time where politics shifted for the better.
Great point. And, probably not the only time that we've been this focused, right? I'm sure when they were crafting the Declaration and the Constitution and all of the articles, I'm sure that we were very focused as a nation, but we were smaller then. Now you're talking 300 million people.
Yeah, and plus it's the little stuff. The thing why this is such a big impact, people are fighting over the little things, and it's become so petty.
Yeah.
So when we see something like this, we're reminded of what is important.